Okay, so that's the first thing we've got done. And now let's share. And you should be able to see something that says Club Foundation Chair Seminar. And
Yep.
uh, I put my partial resume up there uh, just so you know that I haven't been goofing off all these many years. So, uh, so okay, your screen sharing. Okay, it want next. Mhm. Okay, I wanted to start with the Rotary Foundation mission. I think it's important to kind of go back to basics every once in a while. And sometimes our clubs are so busy doing things in our community, making a difference, that there's a tendency sometimes uh, to forget the international part and what we're really trying to do here in Rotary, what makes us special. And I was at a meeting, and the question came up uh, with all of the needs and projects my club is doing right here in town. Why are we um, trying to help out in Nepal or down in District 4110 where we're partnered? And so and this is the foundation mission. And you notice I've put some things in red: advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace by improving people's health, providing quality education, protecting the environment, and alleviating poverty. So this is what the Rotary Foundation is trying to do. And as foundation chairs, uh, it's part of our job to help our clubs achieve that. Um, Now, as a starting point, um, if you have not served at the district level or above in the Rotary Foundation, you may not be aware of this. Uh, to serve as district foundation chair, you must be personally approved by the chairman of the trustees upon recommendation of the governor. Similarly, if you have a foundation related job at the zone level, again, you must be personally approved by the chairman of the trustees at the recommendation of the director. Um, and thus far, I've been approved 6 times. Um, and why is that important that I should bring that out? It has to do with stewardship through the district level and down to the club level as club foundation chairs and district foundation chairs and so forth. We are stewards of the Rotary Foundation's money, which in fact is our donors' money. And so to serve as a club foundation chair, no, you don't have to do that, have that appointment, but it's an indication of where we are in our club. So, uh, how many of you did the 3.5 hours of on Learning Center? Well, it's 3.5 hours, and you will recall there's something that looks like this in the job description. By the way, it used to be in a manual that looks something like this. And if I get it far enough away, maybe you can see it. This is, we used to have a thing called Lead Your Club, Rotary Foundation committee. And this one I sent to Jen, and it will be in the information that she shares with you. And it has lots of really good ideas about what we ought to be doing, how to do it. Um, and and it's a very handy guide, except it is about 10 years old, and the web didn't look the way uh, it does today. I'll just say that. So go back. So these are the sorts of things that we are responsible for according to the Rotary Foundation. Now, my guess is every club represented here does it differently. Um, it seems to me, based on some of the stuff that I get from the Rotary Foundation, they expect me to be on the board. I'm not. We do have a representative that is on the board. So kind of skim through that, and then we'll take a look at them in more detail. So the question is to you, all of you, how do we promote foundation grants and activities and helping our members take part in that? What does your club do? And this is response time. Uh, what are you doing? What could you or should you be doing?
It's Nancy.
Yep.
I put together a PowerPoint, and a couple months ago I did it for the club, um, talking about the foundation and how it works, and where their money goes. And what I was trying to do is to get more people to contribute to the foundation. And that's something we all ask every new member too as they come in. Um, this is what the program is. Would you like to donate? Would you like to be every Rotarian every year contributor?
Okay. Any other
Um,
input?
yes, Tom, the one
Yep.
one thing that our club does is we automatically bill for every Rotarian every year. So it shows up on we invoice semi-annually, and we make sure that we get to the $100 a year for every Rotarian. And that makes sure that we're going to be able to participate as long as we do our grant training for the district community grant funds.
And and if I am correct, you have an opt-out in that because we
Yep.
really can't force donations. But people understand when you join your club, that's part of the deal.
Absolutely. It is communicated at that time.
Um, and uh, another question is, how does your club prepare for uh, and or participate in what we used to call the bi or tri-district or the international project uh, exposition? Uh, how do you all do that?
That's a great question, Tommy. It seems like we could all up our game in this arena. I think getting it on the calendar is the first thing. Confirming people to attend is also important. Signing ourselves up for the trainings that happen in advance to show us how to participate, also important. And then finding projects here that we can ask our partners in other districts to participate with would be the final step.
Okay.
And we'd send representatives to the by district conference, and they come back with what grants that they are interested in and present it to the club. And from there, we choose, what we're going to support And then I work with you, Tom, to see who's been approved and who's not. And a lot of times we pick those ones that don't move forward, but
Yeah.
we
Well,
we
yep.
we really do try every year.
And by the way, I don't do that anymore. I just do that for my club. But but
But Dick
I know,
Jones,
but when you
Dick
did,
Jones
that's
does
what we
it.
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
No.
and I know Gabino's got his hand up. I just wanted to say, working with your club in advance to identify the amount you can participate, the funds you'll make available is really helpful to those who represent you at the International Project Fair.
Yeah, they
Gabino?
go knowing that we have $2,000 or
Yeah,
whatever it
perfect.
is.
Mm-hmm. Gabino?
Gabino, you're muted. Maybe he
Yeah, I
won't.
think Gabino's probably muted, but
Yeah.
what we try to do here at with Camino Real in El Paso is we do send a team to our uh, by district or the tri-district fairs, and we have a team that goes and tries to negotiate as much with our projects and try to come up with partnerships, with to work with other clubs to come up with a partnership to work with our teams with our projects, primarily with our Corazón de Niños, which is one of our biggest projects.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to actually, participate in as many projects as we can that are feasible for us, and we try to partnership with as many as we can. So we like to be as I guess involved
Mm-hmm.
with other districts as possible, and we try to do that with a lot of the projects in 4110 as possible, and with other districts that come in to show us any projects that are feasible. So that's what we try to do.
And recognizing that every club is different and operates differently, what I have insisted uh, with the Rotary Club of Albuquerque is our International Service Committee, who's responsible for that kind of stuff, must put together a request to the board and subsequently to our own foundation for how much money uh, they think they are going to need, and they must request that of the board ahead of time. And contained in that will be the person that has the authority to commit the club to a project and an amount. But the board does set a limit on how much the club will spend, and um, then the team that's on site goes around and scouts out the various ones, and then whoever the designated person is cuts whatever deal is appropriate, and then once we get back, we report to the board and the club what projects we have signed up for. The reason that we do it that way is that uh, our partner knows right off uh, which ones we're going to support and for how much, as opposed to having to go back and run it through the board. And that tends to take longer and kind of delay things. Again, that's how Albuquerque does it. And, you know, those are the reasons why. Uh, Gabino, there we
Okay,
go.
now I find out how to mute this. Okay, last year we sent with the club some people to, I think it was like the international, something similar to the by district. I don't remember if it was in California or Arizona. And they got together and they had people from all over several districts in Mexico, several districts from here from the United States. And when they made a special over there, is that before the district conference or by district or whatever they call it, everybody who has uh, a program or something that they want to help with, they put that program in a platform. It was like a web page. So
Yes.
before everybody went over there, they already knew uh, which programs that we're going to be offering over there. So that way, most people they said, "Okay, we're going to take a look at this, or this, or this." When they show up over there, they went directly to those three or four, and they made a decision right there and then who to support with. Some of this program, especially when you do the grants, they take months to make a grant approved. So if they go over there with the idea of what they want to choose or what they're going to try to help, I think this will move a little bit quicker.
Well, and by the way, this past fall, our governor, soon to be governor elect, Laura, actually prepared something very similar to that, where you could go on and you actually made your commitments into the computer as opposed to sitting down and writing it out on paper and so forth. So yes, we are moving into the 21st century. Um, the other thing on this one is the district grant program, and of course, you have to go to grant training. It's a district requirement that you have at least two people attend. That's normally done in March or April. And the other aspect of that, because of the way District 5520 does district grants, there's an incentive pot, and to qualify for that, you must achieve $100 per capita uh, in for this next year. You must achieve $100 per capita of annual fund giving this year. And by the way, I think most of the usual suspects participants have done that already. So let's move on here. Uh, does anybody uh, do four foundation programs, one a quarter? Would you like to? Yes. Okay. Well, I have the same problem. But one of the things that I would suggest is that uh, for those that give, recognize them. And most often that will likely come in the way of a Paul Harris Fellowship or something. Occasionally, you'll get somebody up in major donor land or bequest society land. And again, it's the donors' recognition. Some people love the recognition, love the bling. Other people just want to make the contribution and don't really care if anybody knows. So you must work that out. Okay, grant management training, we talk about that. The foundation chair, going back to the overall stewardship aspect of things, um, we must the foundation committee, if there is one, or the whoever the foundation chair is, oversee grants qualification process. And part of that is you need to kind of be involved when you're putting together your district grant application, and have some oversight of what's going in if you're actually hosting or international hosting a global grant, um, to make sure and follow up. So that's important. And again, it's a stewardship thing. And let's see here. How are we doing on time? Pretty good. Okay. Now this is something we're all interested in. Motivate members to support the foundation. And we've already heard some of the things that we do. Um, any other ideas about what your club does or what you'd like to do?
So, Tom, I'll volunteer. We do an annual presentation to the club, so it is a program that we do. We talk about the Rotary Foundation, how it works, what we've done in the past, and we always make sure that we thank everyone for their contributions and encourage them to do more. And then what we also do is anytime we've got an opportunity to plug something, for instance, um, we'll be talking about the monies that we raised for Polio Plus this in February and make sure we present a check, um, which is just symbolic, but it's just making them aware of what's
Mhm.
going on. Because the one thing that um, I run up against is making sure that they know that the Rotary Foundation is something that's part of our clubs because our club likes to do a lot of hands-on projects.
Okay. Sonny?
Yeah, thank you. I I just recently participated for the first time in my club's annual Pints for Polio event, and I was astounded at how effective it was at not only raising money, but also generating a lot of community education. Because sometimes people don't want to come to an educational seminar about polio, but they'll come and have a beer and get educated in the process. We got a local brewery to donate $1 per pint to our cause, and we gave out End Polio Now stickers to every single person in the establishment. And just so you know, we also connected it with something called Nerd Night, where people were hearing an educational presentation about vaccines. But we wouldn't have had to do that. It was really fun, and we generated 500. Oh, we had purple pinkies also, because we generated $500, which of course the Gates Foundation matches. So our little tiny club contributed $1,500 to end polio. I think that's amazing. And I think really reports to everyone on how we're doing with polio are also really motivating.
Well, and are you all aware that every Thursday afternoon, our zone in polio now coordinator sends out a status message of where we are as of that date with
I'm
polio.
not getting that anymore, Tom. How do I get on that list?
Um, Down at the bottom, you email Marnie Yulberg, and at the bottom of this
Okay,
presentation, that's one of
okay.
the references. And uh, I
That's
will
important. Yeah.
I will remember to send you a copy of the thing, and all you have to do is say, Marnie, put me on the list. So uh, once a week it comes out. Now, in my club, what I do is I send that to the club secretary, and she puts a blurb. We have one of these PowerPoint
Yeah.
that scroll through,
Oh, right.
and that's one of the things that's always up there. Now, how to motivate, and I think it was Sonny that said basically you got to show people the product. And it's like, okay, we're doing a $67,000 project in Nepal. Well, probably nobody's going to go to Nepal. And once we say, hey, the project got approved, uh, if we don't talk about it again and show what we're doing, uh, most people, uh, when they see stuff like that, they get kind of fired up about it. Hey, this is a good thing, and so forth. The other thing I would observe uh, is that, at least in the Rotary Club of Albuquerque, and I assume in many other clubs, there's always visitors and guests. So besides educating your membership, you're showing potential new members what Rotary is about, and it's more than just coming to the meeting, which is okay, and eating. At least our place doesn't do rubber chicken. It's actually really good. Uh, but but the upshot of it is that's part of your sales program, And that's another reason to do those four motivational things. And also uh, sell your district grant. That's the thing about the district grant is that is fundraising that you've already done. You don't have to go out and do another fundraiser for it. Okay.
Oh,
Anybody else?
Tom, there's also the foundation minute. You can get a whole
Yep.
collection of little blurbs to share at meetings about what's happening with the foundation. They're awesome. And also short videos. There's some wonderful short videos that touch the heart and make you realize what you're contributing to.
Yep. Yes,
Nancy?
Nancy.
Yeah, I think Kim said about telling the club how much, we have those big checks
Yep.
that you write on. I
Mhm.
think that what I'm going to do is once I, get to the end of the month and figure out how much we've done to Polio Plus, how much the club's donated to the foundation, I'm going to put it on a big check and present it at a meeting. I like that, Kim. You did little checks, but I'm going to do big ones.
Okay. All right. Work with the club foundation if you have a foundation, treasurers to manage grant funds, uh, and get the club treasurer to promptly submit donations. Let me. A couple of years ago, I spent a week with John Germ, past RI president, and he was chairman of the trustees at that point. And by listening to him, I found out something that I don't think a lot of people know. The Rotary Foundation lets a contract for polio eradication every month or two. So they're spending polio money all the time. And I know it's probably an easier thing for your treasurer to do to put it in the bank and then at the end of the year send it in. Same thing for your annual fund giving. I would strongly urge, you know, our members are not given the money to put and sit in the bank. They're given money to do stuff. So it is, say once a month or something, whatever you got in, send it in. Yeah, I know it's a little more work, but at least in the case of polio, it's being used all the time. Nancy, did you have something?
Nancy, you muted.
No. Okay. Uh, it, Anybody have anything else to say about this? Okay. All right. Uh, oh, does anybody have members that have problems with the foundation? I spend a significant amount of time, of course, we're one of the larger clubs, resolving issues. And one of the issues typically comes up once or twice a year. I went online and I made a contribution to annual fund or polio or whatever it was, and it doesn't show up. Why might that be? They forgot their real Rotary name and the real name of your Rotary club. And because the system couldn't link uh, things up, they created a new personality, another Rotarian. And so, well, you all know this happens, right? In my club, at least twice a year. Or we have inculcated people annual fund share, and then they see endowment fund share. Well, it's got share in it, and share is good. But they really, I had a donor that saw the share and hit endowment fund share. And when I was looking at our giving, said, where'd this come from? This gentleman never gives to endowment fund. He always gives to annual fund. And I asked him, did you intend to do that? And yes, you can, and it's actually fairly easy to reassign that money back to where he really wanted it to go. And by working through the sports center, you can fix uh, where did the money go. So I uh, I spend a significant amount of time doing that. So that's why you you need to know your real Rotary name, and half the time uh, the system thinks I'm FT, and now I'm Tom Jr. So anyway, yes, Sonny.
Question for you, Governor. I'm wondering if you recommend that we go directly to the support center, or should we go through you for help, or through Dick
Um,
if we need to reassign something?
uh, to be honest, that is something that can easily be done through the club. And a little bit later here, I'm going to show you the tools you're going to need to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we did that. Um, Collaborate with people, uh, offer options to participate, and district grants are really neat on that. But people also can participate by reports. Now, uh, many of you here are not participating right now in a global grant, but there are people that will be willing to do a Zoom call into your meeting, or actually come and visit and do a presentation so you can actually hear what somebody in the district is doing in the way of global grants. Again, you're getting a product in front of your membership and your guests and soon-to-be members. So, um, all kind of comes back together. Okay, so here we go. And this, again, will be provided to you. Uh, Basic reports, and where do you find them? And on the right-hand side, it's how you do it. They've obviously improved the RI website, which is why every one of them has got a how to get there. The club recognition summary gives Paul Harris status, and many of our members, that's where they are. How many foundation recognition points? And you all should remember that your club has foundation points when they like give to a global grant or write a check for polio or something. Uh, all of our members have foundation points. You can't transfer them once. Um, and it is an easy way to encourage giving. I think right now the district has a one-for-one match on Paul Harris's. It, I used to call it the Paul Harris sale, but uh, and well, you put
Yeah.
up a little bit, we put up a little bit, and so forth. But I would also encourage you, and my club has been doing that quite a bit lately, is give meritorious Paul Harris's. If you've got somebody that's doing a remarkable job in your club, and your club has the points, or one of your members has the points, uh, why not recognize that person for what they're doing with the Paul Harris Fellowship? And you've already spent the money, that's the foundation points, and do it. Uh,
And and also recognize people in your community who've been
yes,
living the four-way test and have them come and be celebrated. Important to remember that you can only transfer them to
once,
somebody else and that it has to be in increments of 100.
at least 100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
if I could, I think that's an area that's not well understood in the at the club levels are
Yeah.
the foundation recognition points. People just simply accumulate them So I try to encourage, as I travel around to my clubs as an AG, to remind them that you can't take them to Walmart, you can't spend them at McDonald's. You can only use them for transferring the points to somebody else. I
Right.
actually started a contest to encourage people to participate in the Learning Center. So take enough Learning Center courses, get into the top 10 of District 5520, and I will transfer you 100 points. So far, I've had to transfer two 100-point awards because two people have bumped into the top 10 in the district. So those are things to a way to encourage people to pay attention to recognition points.
So foundation recognition points are kind of like love. It only works if you give it away.
That's right.
Oh, Tom,
I love
that's
that.
great.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's Nancy again. I have my hand
You
raised.
bet. Go ahead.
Hey, one of the things when I look at the reports are past members, and we have a ton of points out there that are just sitting there, or people who've passed away. How do we have to contact those people to have them transfer, or is that what we have to do, Sunny, Tom?
Well,
Yes.
yes. There is an exception. The spouse of a major donor can continue to distribute those foundation points. That's a weird one. Jerry Wooten has been supporting the Fun Club of the Year and using her husband's foundation points for a
Right.
number of years. Okay.
I'm sorry, really quickly, if you know someone is about to move, leave Rotary, or pass away, you can have them sign the transfer form and leave the recipient and amount of points blank for now. And then they're available to use later. I've done that a couple times.
Uh, so we are coming up on the end. So monthly contribution report or the MCR, I use every day, and that's the only place that has the giving for annual fund, polio, other, and endowment. Other is mostly global grants, by the way, and disaster response. Uh, and it's very useful. The problem with that one is the polio goal is not listed on that. You got to go to the polio report. Share contribution detail. You say, why would I possibly want to know? There are clubs that have a lot of people that, especially through the online donation system, uh, give money, and they go in there and we hammer it home, uh, support annual fund, but then they go in and see, oh, there's 9 different annual funds, including annual fund share, which by the way is the default. And the way our district grant system works is the annual fund share generates the DDF 3 years down the pike. If it's going to annual fund, maternal health, the world peace, water and sanitation, or whatever it's going to, that money is in essence restricted and is spent almost immediately. So it is not available to go through the share system. So you may have a big number for annual fund, but find out that it's less than that. District wide right now, it's about 6.6%. Okay, let's back up. Yep. Okay. Polio report, it's self-evident. There is a thing called the club fundraising analysis, and it gives you a 5-year history of what you've been doing. And it also gives you the number of people that are doing E-Ray and sustaining member and who are eligible to be a Paul Harris Society member. The donor history report is useful, particularly if you are in the process. Uh, no, the history report is yours and your members. Unfortunately, you can only access yours, but you can tell your member uh, how to get there, and they're going to need their real name and number and all that stuff. There is a thing called the donor summary report. It is not accessible by us. And you have to ask the governor or the foundation chair, or in my case, I ask my successor as EMGA to run it. And what that is for is the Paul Harris is a combination of points and money, but major donors, it's only money. So it is very difficult from the club recognition summary to figure out where a member is relative to major donor status, and that report will tell you that. Yes, Rick. Okay, why are we doing this? Rick,
Okay, can you hear me, Tom?
you bet.
Okay, can an AG look at these reports for their clubs?
Uh, don't think so.
Okay.
And then here's the one, the last one here, I call it the CDCD. It never used to be available, and it's still not available on the web. You have to ask for it. And it consists of 4 tabs. The first one is a summary of all the giving in whatever period you specified for your club. And by the way, the governor and the foundation chair can get this. And the second one is a little more detailed. And then the last two detail basically all the giving in the club by event and name. And you notice I says it requires special handling, and one of the courses on there was privacy. So sometimes you need that. Number one, if it comes tax time and they're looking through their pile of stuff and they knew they gave something, but they don't know when or how much, that will tell you. You cannot get that off of the club recognition summary. I recommend my typical request, and I pull it about twice a year, is I like the contribution details for club and district Rotary Club Albuquerque 1291 year to date and Excel. And I recommend Excel because it is much easier to search an Excel document than it is a PDF. And this is, as I say, I only pull it about once or twice, or unless there's a question that comes up, but it can be very useful. And that's how you get it. And here's another one you never heard of before. And I think you should ask for it at least once just to see what it says. It's the Endowed Fund Update Report. And what that does is it basically tells you how much endowment money is being generated from named and unnamed funds in our district that goes to provide share DDF. And when you look at this, you'll see there are 7 named funds, and 5 of those produce DDF through endowment fund share. And then you could see right now we're getting about $15,000 a year, and I anticipate it'll probably go up to 20 before long. And again, you ought to take a look at it. And if somebody asks you about the endowment fund, you can show them. Now, there are seven of them. I think some of the donors have passed away, but that's a nice thank you. I show this to one of my members, show them what they're really doing, and it's out of the normal flight pattern for these sorts of things. But you may recall last year there was a goal of 2,025,000,000 in the endowment fund. By the year 2025, we achieved that, and that includes $1 billion of received money, and that means we start out $50 million to do good in the world. Again, most of you, you don't have anything there, but I think you ought to take a look and see what the endowment is doing in our district. Useful material, and again, this will be on the thing. Foundation reference guide updated through last year. The Leader Committee book, and again, this is an old one, but it does have a lot of useful stuff in it. If you want to know about global grants, there's how you get to it. It's in Grant Center, which is available on the website. And then there's the Marnie Yulberg, that, and that's how you get a hold of her. And all you have to say is put me on the list.
Thank you.
And forms you'll need, the transfer requests, the contribution form, occasionally the multiple donor form, and then the grant applications and so forth. Again, remember that the district grants is on the district website. The global grants are on the RI website. And direct enrollment, how you set up that, Paul Harris Society, that tells you that. And I have included in what you'll get is what I give my club president as my recommendation for foundation goals for the year. And it's yes, my parents were letter writers, and I am too. And it's like 3.5 pages long, and explains this is what I think the answer ought to be, and this is how come. And what are we trying to achieve here? So, and where do you go for help? Of course, you've got Governor Dick is the foundation chair. Bob Bernard is the district grant chair. And Lonnie is the polio. Also, you can find the polio coordinators and the EMGAs and all that. Go on the zone website, zone2627.org. And there's two ways.
I don't think everybody knows what an EMGA is.
Oh, well, if I tell you, you still won't know. Endowment Major Gifts Advisor. I didn't know what it was either until I was one. These are the people that work with all the districts to encourage endowment and other large gifts. That's what the major is. A large gift is $10,000 or more, either as a bequest or actual cash. And then lastly, I think Kit mentioned this. There's a thing called the Expert Hub, and you can go in there, and that's how you get to it, and find somebody that is an expert on whatever it is you're asking about. And I bet you if you type in insurance in there, it'll come up with some folks. There are a lot of people expert on global grants, for instance, how to do it and do it the best. And with that having been said, we have 3 minutes before we have to go home.
I have a question, Tom, please.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Veronica with the Carlsbad Rotary Club. This last year, I've been working to educate and get more of our newer members involved in giving. 2 members did log on and donate, but they just used an email address. So of course their contribution did go to RI to the annual fund share, but it created a whole new account for them, like you described.
Yes.
So what do I tell my members to do if they're going to just log on and give on their own?
Well, first of all, what you can do is get the relevant information about when the gift was made. It would be particularly helpful, but not necessarily required, if they kept that copy of the acknowledgement that has the transaction number on it. The problem is the CDCD won't show it because it's not affiliated with your necessarily with your club. If it is, the CD will tell you when it happened, what the transaction number was, and then basically uh, what I normally do when that happens is I send a thing to the support center info, whoever the Rotarian was, saying the details of this. Veronica, member number 12345 6, signed in and created another thing, and we'd like to merge them back to the old number.
I was able to get that done for both of them, but just in case more members just want to log on, I tell them to use you said their true Rotary name?
Yes. Get that off of the club recognition summary.
Okay. So does the name and their email address, does it have to be a combination of the two or just one?
I would normally their email address is what's ever in Club Runner, and I would get their member number.
Okay.
And Tom, wouldn't that be on the profile on the first page they sign in for?
That's the problem, Sunny. They don't log in as a member.
Oh,
They're just going
gotcha.
to donate to Rotary
Yep.
Foundation.
Okay.
Okay, it's time to go home.
Okay, back to the main
Thank
room.
you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Governor.
And thank you all for attending and participating. Yes, ma'am, Betty.
Thank you.
Thank
you. I was just
certainly
waving
welcome.
goodbye.
It was pretty good, Willis? Excellent session.
Oh. I think it went well, but I was presenting, so I'm kind of biased. So.
Well, I will share my screen. We'll wait. We'll just give everybody another couple of minutes to get back. But in the meantime, you can feel free to fill out the survey that I've also put in chat. Okay, I think that's, we'll give it one more minute. So welcome back, everybody, from your breakouts. What we're going to do now, I have put the survey in chat. I will email it out as well in case you're having any difficulty, but I just want to thank everybody for your participation. And I just wanted to open it up for the last few minutes on any reflections. We didn't assign like note takers or